My name is Christopher Mantei, and this is my audiovisual presentation for EDCI 506. I'm going to take you on a little road trip. Along the way, we are going to check out 5 sections of my research project. Let's go to our first stop. The first stop is the introduction. The title of this research: Does student-teacher ratio positively impact graduation rates? The problem the research study is trying to address: does class size have an impact on the success of students in high school? More precisely, does the class size impact graduation rates? The purpose of this research study is to analyze the significance of class size and success in Montana Class A high schools. This study's research question: does the student-teacher ratio positively impact graduation rates in Montana Class A high schools? Now let's go to our second stop. Our second stop is the literature review. I start with the literature addressing graduation rates. I split this section into global and national perspectives. My global article asserts that graduation rates in Mexican secondary education have increased in recent years. However, the levels are low. This indicates an issue with graduation rates on the global stage. My national article asserts that studies indicate staffing characteristics are associated with graduation rates, and accept that the school process plays an essential role in graduation rates. This indicates interest in staffing characteristics relationship with graduation rates on the national level. Next, I reviewed literature addressing student-teacher ratio. I split this section into global and national perspectives as well. My global article asserts that when observing class size at the student level, research indicates student achievement is higher in larger class sizes, and the effects of a smaller class size had positive results in only 2 of the 18 countries studied. This is indicating interest in class size effects on education success on the global level. My national article believes that present research indicates that extreme class sizes, small or large, harm learning outcomes, and the optimal class size for self-paced courses are higher for face-to-face classes versus online. This indicates the interest in the effects of class size in education on the national level. Next, I reviewed literature that addressed possible factors that affects graduation rates. The article contends that the adjusted cohort graduation rate for low socioeconomic students, students with disabilities, and limited English proficiency students have graduation rates lower than the national average. This indicates that there is a need to address the effects on graduation rates. Now here is some nice scenery from our road trip so far. This is the Shoe Tree in Oregon. Now let's go to our third stop. Our third stop is the methodology. The overall design for this study is quantitative. Now here is the study's context description. The sample data is from 10 Montana Class A high schools that have similar demographical characteristics. The 10 schools that is participating in the study are from the east, Custer County High, Miles City, and Sydney High. From the central, Park High, Livingston, and Fergus High, Lewiston. And then from the west, we have Frenchtown High and Whitefish High. I wanted to get a Native American perspective with this, so I pulled information from Browning High and Hardin High. In Montana, there are 2 remote rural high schools, Class A high schools, in the state, which are Havre High on the High Line and Libby High in northwestern Montana. I chose Class A schools because there is usable data through the Office of Public Instruction. Schools were chosen for location demographical information that reflects Montana's Class A high schools. Participants in the study are from the 2018-19 seniors from the selected 10 Montana Class A high schools, which is approximately 1,017 students. The student-to-teacher ratio participants are the 2018-19 enrollment from the selected 10 Montana Class A high schools, which is approximately 4,444 students. The instrumentation for this research study will be information compiled from the school district's submission of data to the Montana Office of Public Instruction. This research study will collect data from the Montana Office of Public Instruction's Growth Enhancement of Montana Students Data, or GEMS data. This study will utilize descriptive analysis. This study will focus on compiling, calculating, analyzing, and interpreting descriptive data statistics, allowing a researcher to describe many pieces of data meaningfully with a small amount of evidence. Now here is some more scenery from our road trip. This is the Devil's Tower in Wyoming, but it's also known to First Nations as Home of the Bear and Brown Buffalo Horn, to name a few names, only name a few names. Now let's go to our fourth stop. Our fourth stop is the results. The study's main findings. This research study attempted to find the significance between student-teacher ratio and student success. In this case, the study is using graduation rates as a measure of success. Compiled data indicate there is no significance between student-teacher ratio and student success. Examples of data for the study. Among the 10 Montana Class A high schools, 30% were 2 or greater standard deviations for graduation rates. Custer High School, 100%, Frenchtown High School, 99%, and Browning High School, 58%. Among the 10 Montana Class A high schools, 30% were 2 or greater standard deviations for enrollment. Browning High School, 605, Fergus High School, 333, and Libby High School, 316. Among the 10 Montana Class A high schools, Browning High School is 2 or greater standard deviations for graduation rate, 58%, senior enrollment, 145, and 2018 and 19 student enrollment, 605. Statistically, there is no significance between the student-teacher ratio and student success. Hardin High School is the only school that is 2 or greater standard deviations for student-teacher ratio, 17 to 1. However, Hardin High School is within 1 standard deviation for graduation rates at 81%. The mean for the graduation rates of the 10 Montana Class A high schools used in this study is 86.1%. Now here is a sweet picture from the road trip. This is the Road to Sun Highway in Glacier National Park. Let's go to our final stop. Our fifth stop is the discussion. This study's connection with the literature. Regarding the literature that focused on graduation rates, indicate that staffing characteristics are associated with graduation rates, and with the claim that school process impacts graduation rates, support the results of the study. Statistically, the study indicate no significance between student-teacher ratio and graduation rates. Regarding the literature that claims graduation rates are increasing, however, graduation rates remain low, the study supported the belief that classroom size, student-teacher ratio in this case, has a limited impact on graduation rates. Regarding the literature that focused on student-teacher ratio indicates that student achievement is higher in larger class size, the study indicates that there is no significance between student-teacher ratio and graduation rates. However, there was no data that supported student success and class size. Regarding the literature that claimed that present research indicates that extreme class size harm learning outcomes, the study indicated that the student-teacher ratio does not have a significance on student success. The supporting literature that indicates Graduation rates are affected by multiple factors. The study indicates that student-teacher ratio has no significant impact on graduation rates. The study's implications. Student-teacher ratio and graduation rates do not have a significant correlation. Student-teacher ratio from the 10 Montana Class A high schools mean is 13.9, indicating larger class sizes of 15 or more students have multiple instructors. Limitations of the study. This study has many limitations, which include limited to only Montana Class A high schools, so sample size, lack of insight to significance of student-teacher ratio in education, and due to the time limit, the study lacks a quantitative element to address the importance of the student-teacher ratio. Recommendations from this study. Due to the number of limitations in this study, the development of a mixed methods approach would create a more viable research project. Lack of time hindered the study's ability to compile a more significant sample size. Future research should collect data from a larger population. Now here's a beautiful sunrise from our road trip. We have checked out objectives, lit review, methodology, results, and discussion. Now let's move on to the final steps. We went on a sweet road trip, hitting the main components of my research paper. Tigger and myself want to thank you for checking out this audiovisual presentation. Now here are my references for the lit review.